It's funny. The most powerful forces that shape our world, they're rarely the loudest. They're usually these quiet, relentless principles hiding in plain sight. Today, we're going to look at one of the biggest, compounding, but probably not in the way you're used to thinking about it. We're going to start with a bit of a paradox. We're going to take a concept that you think you know, compounding, and kind of flip it on its head, revealing its true identity. It's not just some mathematical trick. It's a deep, guiding philosophy for how we live, how we learn, and how we build things that last.
Yeah, we've all seen this equation before, right? Probably in a textbook somewhere. It's the engine of financial growth, the blueprint for turning a small sum into a fortune over time. But it feels predictable, mechanical, almost cold. And that feeling is precisely where we've all been missing the point.
Z, the real power isn't in the formula itself. Not at all. It's in the shift you make from treating compounding as just an external calculation to embracing it as an internal, personal operating system. The formula is what happens to your money. The philosophy is what you do with your life.
Okay, so how do we make that shift? How do we go from one to the other? Well, we start by completely redefining the variables, translating the cold algebra of finance into the warm, messy, and, most importantly, controllable world of human behavior. This right here, this is the whole game. This is where it all changes. Your principal, your P, that's not just money. It's the first step you take, that initial habit you start, the new idea you chase, or that one single act of trust you give someone. Your rate of return, or R, forget market percentages. It's your consistency, it's your discipline, your personal learning rate. And time, the T, well, that's the ultimate asset, isn't it? It's just pure, unadulterated patience and endurance.
And nobody understood this better than Warren Buffett. This quote just nails the mindset. His legendary success, it isn't built on some secret formula. It's built on a philosophy. When he says his favorite holding period is forever, he's not just talking about stocks. He's talking about a deep, fundamental commitment to the process and understanding that the variable he has the most control over is time.
So this leads to a really crucial insight from Buffett's whole approach. The game isn't about chasing the highest possible rate of return. It's about protecting the compounding process itself. A huge financial loss, a damaged reputation, a personal burnout, these things don't just slow you down, they completely shatter the curve. The goal is simple: never get knocked out of the game.
Now, if this is all so simple and so powerful, why don't more people live this way? The answer is that our own biology, our own brains, are actively working against us. We are in a constant battle between our long-term goals and our short-term instincts. And the main villain in our story actually has a name: hyperbolic discounting. It's this cognitive bias that's hardwired into our brains, and it makes a small reward right now feel way more valuable than a much, much bigger reward in the future. It's the silent saboteur of every diet, every savings plan, every long-term project we've ever tried.
I mean, you can see it right here. That bigger reward later on is objectively the better choice, obviously. But our brain just dramatically discounts its value simply because it's far away. Meanwhile, that small, immediate reward is just screaming for our attention. And you know what? It often wins, derailing the quiet, almost invisible work of compounding.
So how in the world do you fight back against your own brain? You have to abandon the myth of intensity. Look, those heroic all-night sessions and crash diets, they make for a really good story, but they are completely unsustainable. Real progress isn't built on intensity. It's built on a system of quiet, relentless, and honestly, almost boring consistency. And this is where the philosophy really starts to take off, because its true power emerges when we apply it to assets that are far more valuable than money: our knowledge, our reputation, and our relationships. Just think about learning. The first book you read on a brand new subject is a really steep climb. The 10th book is more like a brisk walk. And the 100th, you're flying. You're not just adding facts anymore, you're building mental models or schemas. Each new piece of information connects with everything you already know, so your rate of learning actually accelerates. It's a self-multiplying asset.
Or take your reputation, for example. It starts with a single act of trust. That one act leads to better opportunities. Better opportunities lead to better results. And those results grant you the authority and credibility to take on even bigger challenges. It's a self-reinforcing loop,
a flywheel that can take years to get moving, but once it does, its momentum is nearly unstoppable.
So when you put all of this together, you realize compounding isn't just a tactic for one little area of your life. It's what you'd call a meta skill. It's a skill that makes all your other skills better. It's an overarching philosophy that governs how you deploy every single resource you have.
Okay, so what's the actionable framework here? What can you actually do? First, start treating your time, that little T variable, as your ultimate strategic asset. Protect it. Second, replace motivation with the discipline of a process. Don't wait to feel like it, just do it. Third, prioritize making decisions faster over trying to get the first one perfect. And finally, actively work on building those mental models, those schemas, to accelerate your own intellectual rate of return.
And that really brings us to the final and most critical question. The real power of compounding isn't out there in the stock market, it's right in here, in our daily choices. It's the quiet, patient force shaping our future, and it's happening right now. The only question left is, what exponential curve are you building one quiet day at a time?